Hey, it's Rachel from All About Planners. In this video I'm doing a review of the Lucky Life Tools 2019 edition. So full disclaimer, I did receive a copy of this planner for free in exchange for this review. However, I purchased the 2018 version myself and really liked it, and the company saw that review and said, hey, do you want to look at the 2019 one? So I said, heck yeah. So there have been quite a few improvements between the 2018 to the 2019 version, and I do have the 2018 one here to do some comparisons for you as well. So let's look first at this little monthly calendar booklet. So if you're finding that the planner that you're using just doesn't quite have enough space for you to plan your months, this could be a good alternative. Or if you find that you don't need a weekly planner, or maybe you're doing bullet journaling but you do still want some sort of a monthly calendar without having to rule it up all the time, because I know when I tried bullet journaling that drove me nuts. This would be a good alternative. So it has the goals pages similar to the planner, and then you have some graph paper which would be good for a year in pixels, a mood tracker, habit tracking, little dates at a glance calendars for the current year. When you use this, it'll be 2019, and then the next year 2020. You have a goals page. I really like these goal pages and all of the ones in the planner. They're really functional. They're some of the best well thought out ones that I've seen in a planner. Lined writing space, lots of space to step out the tasks. Huge fan of the goal pages. A timeline for each quarter to plan out your year, which I tend to use these for blog planning but can be good for important dates as well. And then on top of that, you again have another calendar, but this one would be, I think, better for birthdays because you don't have much room to write in them. So birthdays, or maybe a little bit of washi tape, or drawing like an arrow and saying these are the days you're on holidays, or getting some colored dot stickers and color coding things like, okay, I'm doing cleaning on that day, and color code things that way because you don't have a lot of room to write. It starts on a Monday and ends on a Sunday, which is consistent throughout, because this one starts on a Monday as well and ends on a Sunday. So for each month you get this one-page monthly calendar, which is lined writing space, and it has the US holidays printed because it is a US planner. And then in addition to that, you get this ginormous space over here with some graph paper. So if you wanted to do a habit tracker, or you wanted to do lists, obviously you've got the little box there already, so you don't have to draw your own check boxes. Then you can use it for that, and it continues throughout with the goals snapshot. You get a big task list, 2 of them actually, and you can choose what titles you want to use. So if you wanted to have your cleaning tasks, and then they give you these little prompts to consider different life balance, and then also quotes. So a very functional calendar which has a lot of room to write. So despite it being a one-page calendar, which I normally avoid, I would probably use this purely because it has tons and tons of list-making space on the other page. And the weekends are shaded, which I quite like as well. Now, as for split boxes, which if you guys follow my blog, you'll know that's what I'm looking for. So if I recall, it does not split the boxes, it just continues the numbering. So you still get a full box for each day, which is great. So because this little booklet is just the months of the year, it does not have tabs because it doesn't really need them. And I think it only has the months. Let me just check. I don't think it has any notes pages at the back. Sorry, a bit awkward doing this with one hand. Just flip the back. So it just has the months in there. And then, instead of the split boxes, I should probably point out, it adds an extra row. So it switches from 5 rows to 6. So you do get slightly less space, but you still get a decent amount that it's usable. Okay, so let's have a look at the calendar, the planner. So that was the monthly calendar, and then this one is the planner. So if I just pull out the 2018 one, first thing that I've immediately noticed is that it now has rounded corners. So definitely an improvement, because I find the corners of hardbound ones like these tend to get a bit scuffed throughout the year. So the other thing, obviously one's a black cover, one's pink. They do still have a pink version available for 2019. I just wanted something different to compare, so I opted for the black. In terms of the size, they're about the same thickness, which is about actually I'd say it's probably a little bit smaller. So that one was about 1.5 centimeters. I'd say this one would probably be like 1.2 centimeters. And the coil is a little bit smaller as well. In terms of the weight, yeah, the 2019 is a little bit lighter, but not by much. So let's have a look inside. So we have much the same layout as the 2018 in terms of goal planning tools. Just covered up those free downloads because it's a code you only get when you buy the planner. Okay, so let's go into the goal setting pages. Now, one thing that I've noticed is that it has this flap thing, which I'm, to be honest, not really a fan of, because you have to pull the page out, and then if you want to see it, you constantly have to have it pulled out. I've seen another planner do this as well, and I didn't really like it. I prefer when it's just the pages like already, you know, printed, so you can just flick through it normally without having to open a flap. We have some graph paper, which you can use for anything that you like. It's very open-ended. And then we go into the goal pages. So the goal pages of this planner, I'd say, are some of the most unique ones I've ever seen in a planner. They have lots of different stuff. They have self-care. They've got this prioritizer thing. There was a decision maker, like a belief changer, a whole bunch of different goal pages. So let's have a look at some. So the prioritizer, they have everything split out into different areas of your life, like wellness, family, work, romance, all that kind of stuff. And then you have top three focus and allow you to rate where you're at. And then you can start setting your goals for each area of your life. So much like with that little monthly calendar booklet we just looked at, these pages are pretty detailed where you can break down all the steps. Lined writing space gives you some little prompters as well, so it's not just a blank piece of paper saying here go plan it. It actually is very structured, so I really like that. Some routines, so you can set up what you're going to do daily, weekly, monthly and yearly. Probably not enough space on the yearly one there, but I do quite like this whole thing because not many planners include stuff like that. And then you have your timeline, much like that little monthly calendar booklet had. We go into the actual planner. So it has that same yearly overview the booklet had, and then you have a different overview to plan it out in more detail. So you could put birthday dates there and then list the names out, or dates of bills, things that are due, or I tend to use these for like goal deadlines for my blog and Etsy shop and planning things out. So very open-ended, use that in multiple different ways. The monthly calendars are very similar to the booklet, however they have this thing here, this timeline, which I tried it out when I used the Lucky Life Tools Planner and I really liked it. So it's really good for mapping out projects, like what you're going to do each day, and you can shade the boxes and color code what you're doing when. So like listing out the tasks here or on the other goal pages, which were back a bit, and then keeping everything color coded and matching it up, so like step 1 and then colored in the box when I was going to do step 1. So I did really like it, and it was something different that not many other planners included. You do have that little goals priority thing again, and then down the bottom here, again that life balance prompter. Lined writing space, and then this one split it into 6 rows because it has that little 31st. Would definitely prefer if it just restarted up the top and kept it at 5 rows, but it is still practical, and certainly a lot more than some of the other planners that combine it into 2. Then you've got some more graph paper. The tabs are a bit flimsy. They're quite small, as you can see, only like as big as my fingernail. They are a laminated cardstock. They are protected by the hardcover, but yeah, they're pretty small and they don't feel super sturdy. So let's have a look at the weekly spread. So the weekly has a Monday start, much like the monthly calendar. It's all consistent, and same with the yearly, so everything starts on a Monday, so love that it carries through the whole planner. Now it is a vertical scheduling version, which is 6 AM until 11 PM. If you are a night owl like myself, those times may not work for you. However, it is printed very small, so you could just ignore it and just use it for general planning space. So when I used this planner, the 2018 one, I'll include a link in the description box below to how I used it. I split out into like 4 sections. So I had, you know, one category, another one, and I just ignored the times, and it worked quite well. So then we've got the sidebar with some list making space, a tracker, a habit tracker. Well, they call it routines behaviors, but I used it as a habit tracker. And then over here you have the weekly review. So it ties in with those life areas that are on these ones here that are on the monthly calendar. And then you get lots of other random space here to use however you like, and a little like focus box up the top as well. And then same thing continued throughout. Really like little flag banner. While it is a black and white printed design, it is still like nice. It's not super boring because it does have all the different shading of grey, and obviously you can use any colored pens that you like and it will still look good. So at the back they have this Life Tools section. which is quite different. Oh, sorry, it's got this little review thing here, which I probably should have pointed out. And then that Life Tools section, which most planners don't include. But just backtrack a bit. Okay, so an annual review, which has some quite detailed questions. And then the personal life areas, which again have been continued throughout for you to answer a few questions and do a reflection. And then also a next steps, which is very handy. And then again, another detailed annual review page. So probably some of the most detailed annual review that I've seen. Most planners just skip that. Do it for again your social and professional. And then we go into the life tools. So the self-inventory page I was talking about before, I probably personally wouldn't use this page, but it's there if you want to. You get I call it like a mood wheel, but they call it like a rating wheel. You can color in where you're at. And then the decision maker, which to be honest I didn't use in the 2018 one, but it's something different, so you might want to give it a go. And then belief page. And then we go into a habit builder, change focus, a financial accounts tracker, which is obviously very handy. Some spending trackers. Probably not enough of those. If I had to say a con, should probably be more of those, or one for each month would make it even more useful. Some lists pages, and then like a gift list, which is obviously very handy. Some more graph paper, quite a few, and then you have a pocket folder which is double-sided, and then the back cover. So I'll just quickly check out the weekly, compare the weekly for 2018 and the 2019, because I realized I kind of skipped over that. So the weekly looks the same. Yeah, the weekly is the same with the 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. So I'll include that link below to the blog post where I tried out the 2018 one if you want to get some ideas on how to use it. And I hope you found this review helpful.